Hey everybody, Kyle here. I guess Kyle Paints 2017 episode 5. Earlier on I was talking about how when I first started this series I was playing video games. My urban landscape series really got started because my whole time through OCAD I was like a laser beam just focused on art. I had no interests or hobbies or activities. I didn't do anything except for either work on art, read about art, look at art, or work a number of shitty jobs to make enough money to put myself through art school and buy supplies to make art. So I had zero outside interests, and I think it became pretty obvious to people looking at the art that I was making. I kind of had a singular vision that wasn't really branching out much. For my summer holidays, I was working, 7 days a week. Some of those were 10, 12-hour days. I baled hay. It's not a job anyone wants. Then I was going to school full-time, but I was also working part-time, so I was kind of, again, 7 days a week. I didn't have a chance to just calm down until I got to the Christmas holiday. And it was on that Christmas break where I decided, you know what, I used to love playing video games. I was a big gamer, I enjoyed it. I loaded up, I believe it was Unreal Tournament, and probably one of those Warhammer 40,000K real-time strategy games. I can't remember which one now. When I was playing it, just everything was coming at me so fast, and it was so exciting, and there was the HUD and so many distracting elements, and I just saw that as a perfect reflection of my interpretation of moving to the city. And I used those screenshots at first, and I transitioned to using city images that I had taken myself, but one of the other elements I didn't mention in the other video about that story I've now told like 4 times is that it was late 2005 when I sat down and started playing these games and had that spark that inspired the whole next 10 years of my artistic career. And it was kind of interesting because in that time, that those fast-paced, crazy video games that inspired the whole project, right around the time I started painting these and focusing more on city stuff and ignoring video games again, those kind of first-person shooter video games started becoming slower-paced, more realistic, less arcadey. In my opinion, less fun. I don't want a murder simulator, I want Unreal Tournament. I want to be able to run 90 miles an hour and jump 4 stories. And take 1,000 bullets to the face and laugh them off and fire a rocket launcher at the next guy's crotch. Like, that's the kind of gameplay I want to have. I don't want to, like, duck and cover and wait and auto-regenerate. That's bullshit. Video games were actually getting slower and slower and slower. So it's just a neat little parallel thing. So transitioning to life in the city, that also just happened to be Toronto, that I was kind of documenting it over the time when the condo boom was happening and prices for everything had started going insane. It was kind of, unintentionally, I was kind of documenting the birthing of Toronto as it finally emerges as a true world-class city with true third-class public transit. When I finally decide to start integrating video game footage back into my artwork, that just happens to be this very year that Doom 4 comes out, which is like the first game that's come out in a decade that actually makes me want to, like, install Windows so I can run a game. I find with art it's kind of interesting because it seems like a lot of seeds get planted in various places at the beginning, and 5 years later one will sprout into something and it seems amazing and earth-shattering, and then another 5 years later a completely other one seeds and you come back to that, and it's just it's a really interesting adventure. Some of the ideas that capture your attention, they keep on surprising me.